Welcome to True Tempo. It's Tuesday once again, and in front of us we have the deck that I'm going to be playing today. This is I'm building on what I played last week. As I mentioned, if you saw the closing thoughts last week, I want to try red almost just for Pyroblast in this Dimir shell. And that's because of mostly Tamiyo, but also being a card that is good against the bigger payoffs in both, mostly combo decks, but also being good against control, like Flame of Anor, like Wizard Control, and just any kind of blue deck will be having many targets beyond Tamiyo, but Tamiyo's the big one. It's nice to have to be able to board out some pushes, maybe all of them, and still have plenty of ways to handle a Tamiyo, depending on the matchup, of course. So let me explain why I came to the exact build that we have in front of us. Um, I really like the Reanimates that I played the last week in the main deck, but it is like I played them in the main because I had Thought Scour, and Thought Scour was there to fuel Murktide Regent. But yeah, Thought Scour, it's just not a really good card. I mean, to the surprise of no one, I was okay trying it out, but yeah, the random draw is pretty often you know more or less what you need, and using a mana to just make a random draw is kind of painful if you're looking for a specific thing. I talked about playing Consider last week, but I actually think that's too bad of a card as well. So I won't be going down that lane unless I'm playing Katara. More on that later. But so this is just classic Brainstorm Ponder for the time being, and hoping that for Murktides is okay, because I really want to lean into Murktide in the meta game, and in a build where I'm not playing Nethergoyfs. You need to finish the game, and Murktide does that better than anything else. Um, Nethergoyf is a card I'm really happy not playing. I think it's very mediocre. So kind of in exchange of Nethergoyf, which would also mean using slots for artifacts, I go all in on Murktide and Bowmasters. Um, and that, well, maybe it might feel a bit heavy, but you also have like an easy pitch to Force of Will in the early turns with the first Murktide, because you know you're gonna be able to find the second one pretty often. Um, so yeah, that's basically I want Murktide because it's the biggest finisher and it's good against Dimir. Nethergoyf is just serviceable. Um, Nethergoyf is awesome against Izzet, which is still the most played deck according to Goldfish. We have these stats from the last week, and it's it's definitely this build is this build is not optimized to beat Izzet, but it's still favored, I think, like with a decent margin. The reason being that I took the kind of sideboard Baraglyphs. I did have 3 in the main last week, but that was because of Reanimates and Thoughtseize. But a lot of the time, Baraglyph is mostly in the sideboard. And today I'm trying just putting these in the main. Um, it is a bit counterintuitive or against common sense in tempo to play a 3-drop when you play Wasteland and Daze. But well, I'm going down to 3 Wasteland main and 3 Daze and up a discard spell because I want to kind of pave the way for Baraglyph and Bowmasters. Um, Daze is not always the best at that, of course. Daze is an awesome card, but paving the way for a three drop is better with discard, especially when you know that most decks only have a limited amount of removal spells for it, especially Izzet. It's not the case with Dimir, but still, you just need to like make a window for yourself, and if you hit once, you're happy basically. Getting the life swing and maybe a creature off the trigger is a big deal. So I upped the brazen count to just have my third total card against Chalice and have more hits with Baragorth. That is kind of versatile. And that's, yeah, it's pretty clean cut. I like Snuff Out instead of the fourth push in the main as another card to handle Murktide. That means 3 cards with the two Brazens. And then, yeah, the red splash, to be seen if it's worth it. Mystical Dispute does some of the same things as Pyroblast, but it's not very good at killing a Tamiyo. So I think I wanna see what splashing Pyroblast can do. I'm not going all in on 4 copies because it just feels a bit too much. But it might be correct to play 4. This last fiddle push is because I acknowledge that there are good non-blue decks as well. The kind of Cradle Control and D&T decks, I respect them a lot. They're tough matchups. So having the 4th push I think is valuable, and it'll be good against all the mirror matches. And then, yeah, the Reanimate. Why Reanimate? I talked about this last week, but maybe you didn't see that. I think Reanimate is awesome in especially the Dimir Mirror, where it's about Bowmaster and to some extent Tamiyo supremacy. It's less good against Izzet because the life matters, life points. But it's also, I think, pretty good against a lot of the kind of unfair graveyard decks. Like any kind of reanimated deck, they play, since they don't have Entomb, they have to play a lot of monsters, big monsters, and we have Thoughtseize, so we can either just take their monster, or we can, in many other cases, let them loot. They have to loot a monster into the bin some way, and then fight their reanimation, and then we can reanimate. I think it's a way, kind of subtle way to improve those matchups a lot, while also improving the mirror and any kind of control matchup that isn't Swords to Plowshares based. Having Reanimate is going to be awesome as well. Just getting these threats for cheap is a big deal. And then against Oops All Spells, it's definitely quite the dance. But the plan is to survive, to be able to either reanimate, like win in some normal way, or reanimate one of their Balustrade Spy or Undercity Informer, mill their deck, and fight their Memory's Journey, which is their way of surviving when they go to their turn. If we mill their deck in our turn, they have to play Memory's Journey in their upkeep to not die, and we can either Force of Will or Pyroblast that. That's kind of a different way of winning that matchup, but I think it's worth it instead of playing really narrow sideboard cuts against the graveyard. And I think the rest is somewhat explanatory. I'm not playing the big question when building this deck at the moment, I think, is what do you, in what capacity do you respect Cory Steel Cutter? Because that is the best card that Izzet has against you, alongside maybe Katara. But the thing is that it's not everyone who's playing Cutter. There is Katara in those slots in some decks. So some part of the time, an Abrade is going to be pretty bad, and even Hydroblast is only going to be medium. So this build is trying to just win with Paragoyf, regardless, and Bowmasters, of course, regardless of what their plan is, because it's always going to be good against Izzet. And yeah, between rounds 2 and 3, I'm gonna dive into some comparisons between the kind of payoff, different payoff cards you can play in Tempo these days between him, Katara, Bowmasters, Baragorth, Core Steel Cutter. Yeah, I'll be discussing that a bit similar to what I did last week with removal spells in Dimir. Now let's play some Legacy. All right, round 1. My opponent, they like to play Doomsday, and this is a great hand against most decks, but certainly against Doomsday. Yeah, no choice in the fetching. I would consider getting a swamp if I had a fetch of the black kind, just because they play Wasteland these days. Okay, so yeah, really a tempo build. How are they gonna play? They have a Sewers. They have a Daze. And like, I think they're gonna play um, play turn 1 Sewers. So I'm gonna take the Daze. And they don't know, like Doomsday, I'm not that afraid of for the time being. Okay, they play so they can Brainstorm. Yeah, well played. I'm not forcing. Yeah, well played from them. But now, if they don't hit a land, they don't have a play turn 2, so it's not. Maybe they drew the land. We don't know. Okay. I am just gonna jam this now. They don't play much removal. I don't. They could play Bowmasters, but yeah, I have to think how I'm gonna handle the trainer, and I think because I have the second Bowmaster, I'm just gonna let them have it. Wow, they Dark Ritual. Yeah. So do they have protection as well? Let's see. They don't. They have 3 cards. They didn't shuffle, so they're drawing like maybe they hide one of these on top, the best one. I guess that's the trainer. Okay, I think I want to get a clock, like a stronger clock here. The Bowmaster is also good post Doomsday, but Baragorth is. I want to get that hit in as early as possible. Like the static ability on Bowmaster is going to be good post Doomsday, but attacking is stronger from the side of Baragorth. Okay, so they'll play. Like if they play Doomsday, I don't think that's good enough. But let's see. They play a trainer. Okay. I think they're gonna chump the Baragorth. But let's see. They get a Force of Will. So in that case, I don't want to. I don't want to attack Hmm. They could have a blue card. I don't want to attack with my token if they force the Bowmaster. Yeah. They have a Void Walker, I believe. See if we can find... No, nothing. But like, they need like maybe a Murktide to at least trade with the Bergoif. That doesn't do much. And I think Doomsday is not going to be good enough. Okay, sweet. Let's attack with Bergoif and let's see, from anywhere. Okay, so there's a small risk if I mill with Bergoif. They get something sweet here. So I think I'm not gonna... there's no reason to give them, since I have a good play here. No reason to give them cards. And still, like a Murktide would be decent from them. There's nothing in the void right now. Yeah. The void being Dorothy Void Walker. So now they have to jump. And I can draw maybe a blue card for force, but I'll wait, I think. Nah, I'll do it now because I'm pretty sure they don't have a Bowmaster. Do I want to flip Tamiyo? Sure. Sure. So let's see if they have any outs. I mean, the fact that they're playing, I think, is mostly a matter of seeing cards and being ahead on time with 2 minutes. I don't think they had any outs. So, Tempo, Doomsday. These will be good. We saw the trainers, they play probably Tamiyos. We also have to respect their combo for sure. Consign is good post combo, post Doomsday. So, Wasteland is not really necessary, or it's if they can play around it in with many hands, pitching basics. Don't think it's really what's up. Bergoif is not really what's up as well, but especially on the draw. Snuff out is not really necessary when I have the Pyroblast. It's kind of a liability. It can be good. But this is, I think this gives a nice spread against Tamiyo and Murktide. Could cut a Daze. A lot of the time it's not going to be very strong. Then the question is, do I want Brazen? I don't think so. I think this is fine. Since they played the Dorothy, maybe this number of Murktides is a bit risky. I think I can actually do like this. Yeah, still we don't know how they... I think they're just never gonna board out Tamiyos, and the Pyroblast is always gonna find targets. So I think it's fine playing like this. Unless they make a full juke, I don't think they have a lot of removal spells. So going a bit down on threats should be okay. Okay, Thoughtseize is good. If they don't turn one Doomsday us. Don't know why I put a stop in the draw step. But should I be afraid of Wasteland? I don't think I really should, but what's the price? If I get a swamp, then I can't like Tamiyo Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm just gonna get Underground Sea. I can play on with the Volcanic if they waste me. So maybe they have a Bowmaster here. That would be fine. Or Brainstorm. They have a Bowmaster. Okay. That I will try to shoot with my own. The fact that they use the pedal is, that's a high cost. They have a Daze, a Thoracle, which is really bad. So I'm just gonna take the Daze. And maybe they'll Brainstorm right away. It's tempting. It's tempting to force. It's quite tempting to force. To kind of let this Oracle rot in their hand and assure this. I'm gonna do that. Kind of yeah, that's the C. To be sure that I can't be completely sure, that my Bowmaster gets there. And now next turn I'll just play a Baragoi if nothing else interesting happens. They have white in their deck. That's interesting. Okay. So they get to look at the top. And they have one card. They want to trade. Why do they want to trade? Like, I can't attack with my token. I think it's fine for me to block here. Okay, I think I'm gonna develop that Wasteland so that if I draw another one, I can double waste next turn. These main deck Baraggoyfs have been sweet, even in this kind of combo matchup. Just having like a expensive Psychic Frog in the deck feels quite good. All right, let's. I do want to Thoughtseize first. It limits a bit my playing, but no matter what, I want to the bounce. Um, I want to take the bounce and leave them with the force. Seems pretty bad. When I'm on board, I don't want to give them the chance to like bounce a Bowmaster and then just when I don't have black mana up, and then cantrip away. Let's get rid of the whites. I guess that's for Swords of Plowshares. Keeping this if I draw Brainstorm. Well, yeah, it seems like the my Dimir deck without any kind of combo cards that are weak, like that seems to be working out much better than their Doomsday build here. Like they used a pedal to play a Bowmaster. They drew like a bounce spell and Thassa's Oracle. Just gonna see what Bergoyf gives me and not crack a clue. Maybe I find a creature. I do. Let's get the Murktide. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Yeah, Bergoyf in the main felt really good here. Let's see if that continues to be the case. See you for the next round. And here we go for another round of Legacy. I'm gonna keep. My opponent played the Epic Storm the last time. Looks like that's the case once again. Happy to have a force. Let's see if it's good enough. It won't be good enough. If they have gas. I really like playing against Storm, but yeah, let's see. I have a lot of bad cards right now. They kept the hand. They might have a kind of a Saga hand, but there's also a chance that they can just go off. If that's the case, like if I'm afraid, I should play Polluted Delta Brainstorm, and if I have Cold Blood, I should play the Sewers. But I'm afraid, so I'm gonna play it like this. Yeah. I am afraid. I just think that when they keep 7, there's a good amount of time where they can do something, and they know my hands, so they 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 might be able to go for it without protection, but then they run the risk of me brainstorming into a counterspell. Happy to not see a Saga here. That's one worry less, one weight off my shoulder. They're thinking, maybe weighing the risk. And does it mean they're going for it? Guess so. Wishclaw. Wishclaw, and they can Wishclaw. That means that they have 3, 4, 5 mana. They can get a ad nauseam already. just with what they're presenting next turn. If I'm gonna see if I can find a Force of Will. I think I should respect this. I mean, it's not the highest probability, but such is life. Now, I guess they know that the coast is clear, and it's extremely clear. 5 mana. They can go for Dark Ritual. Okay. Yeah. That is probably good enough. I'm gonna let them play it out. If they LED, they still like probably lose to a force. So, but once they played the ritual, I think that there's no turning back, right? Yep. I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Shouldn't take a long time. But you can definitely scroll a bit if you want. I wouldn't fault you for it. Now, sure they see all my mid-range stuff. And there you have it. All right. Black Saga Storm. Gonna board in the Wasteland alongside Force of Negation. Don't expect them to have a Duke. I don't think that's. I'm gonna check their lists if it's the same deal. Looks like it. Looks like they might board in Veil of Summer, Carpet of Flowers. Molten Collapse might actually be good. Might actually be good. There's not enough targets for Hydroblast. It's just one Burning Wish, it looks like. Like Bowmaster is bad, Bergolf is bad. Need to win the game, but I guess Murktide can do that. Consign is good against the Storm trigger. Like they have to discard it basically to win with Storm. So that's not bad. Do I just cut all these? I guess so. All these Bowmasters, and I have 4 Murktide to win with, and 2 Brazens. Snuff out is hold up. Is bad. And so is push. There's so many cards actually to take out. Just looking to make sure they don't have I don't think they have a Duke. In that case, Bowmasters is probably better than Burgoyf because I can play it end of turn. Yeah, it's not strong, but yeah, it's probably better than these really bad cards. um, so I have one red card. Well, that won't do. That's fine. Don't hate having plenty of forces. I think I'll bin one Wasteland. Because having several forces is good against discard spells. Alright. Couple of lands, plenty of discard. Plenty of discard. It's really Carpet or Talisman. Carpet might be not that strong. I feel like it's like for them to win. I'll have to be really careful with my playing islands, but if Carpet is just 1 mana, it's not a big deal. See how they want to play. They're gonna lead on discard. Okay. So if I draw more discard, I can take Carpet. I think that's what I would do. But it's close between Carpet and Beseech. Okay, that's not bad. And they Thoughtseized already, so the duress will maybe not get there. I might actually. Let's see, they're gonna duress first, of course. Gonna duress first. I'm saving this Wasteland for a Saga, I think. If they duress, I'm gonna LED, okay. So now they have a bunch of mana. Can they go off this turn? Don't think so. They have like 5 mana. Well, regardless, I won't be able to do anything about it. Another Wasteland. And this Murktide is not getting played. So let's hide it. Gonna play a Carpet and my Wastelands will be pretty bad. I can take away a mana from Opal, like 2 mana in a sense. Actually, I'm gonna do that now. In the beginning. Here, I'm gonna waste here, so they don't have Opal mana. They have just the Besiege. Can't play it, but they're pretty close. What does Besiege get? I mean, I can counter it, but they know about it. I feel like it's kind of a standoff. I think I'm gonna end of turn Brainstorm to get that Murktide into play. Hoping to get that Murktide into play. This is turns on Opal. Turns on Opal. Doesn't really do that much when I have the Force. Alright. Alright, so I can play Murktide. I can play a Murktide and draw a second Murktide. Oh wait, I feel like if I just keep up Force, I'm not really losing. So I might have to just wait a turn, draw another Murktide, play my Volcanic, and then maybe waste myself. It's kind of the same as wasting them. Unless they play another Carbet. This is tight. If they just draw a discard spell, then I'm in trouble. Wishclaw. Oh. Feel like I have to say no to this. They have yeah. I don't know if they can win just with like maybe going for Song of Creation or something next turn. If I waste them, they have 2 mana from Carpet. They have 3 mana. Gonna waste them. And accept. At least I can play spells. Like a Molten Collapse, for instance. Alright. Talisman is probably good. Really not enough into how their deck plays to know exactly what's gonna happen now. Okay, I'm gonna die. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Only thing is they don't have a lot of mana here, but oh yeah, they have the LEDs. So, all right. Yeah, I needed a couple of turns of peace and quiet. All right. Yeah, it's tough. It requires some. I don't know if I played wrong. I don't think so, but I didn't feel completely in the driver's seat, um, like on top of their deck and so on. Um, yeah, but I feel like there's nothing really I could do. But let me know if you saw some lines that were better. I would love to get better against this build of Storm. And I do always let them finish. Show me the tendrils. Yeah. All right. Well, see you for the next round. All right. Before round 3 starts, I just want to take a moment to discuss some of the kind of defining two drops that make the differences between different tempo builds these days, and kind of the goal is to make it more easy to understand what the pros and cons are for these different choices, to make your choice, my choice, conscious, whether to play one or the other. That it's not just like random. This week I feel like playing Hymn to Torque. I mean, that's fine. You can do what you want, but my goal with this, with the channel and just with this moment, is to make it a bit more founded on good reasons. And so let's take, like, over here I just put the different one drops that I'm not gonna discuss much, but that's, yeah, that's a different talk. But I feel like I often talk about the pros and cons of these and less about the pros and cons of these two drops. Brainstorm is here to just exemplify the cards that everyone plays. Brainstorm, Ponder, mostly Force and Daze. But so let's take Bowmasters first. I think this is the gold standard for a 2-drop in Tempo, because you get a lot of stuff guaranteed when it resolves. You have some amount of aggression, although it's not the primary strength of the card. You get some kind of card advantage because you have a distribution of the card and the token, and then you have the static ability, which is always extremely good, of course, against blue decks, and then you get the ping, which is sometimes backbreaking. If you can get a creature, like get a Delver that's not flipped, then that's backbreaking, and it's basically a 3-for-1 with the static ability as an upside, because you invested one card, and you have 2 permanents and a threat off the board. So that's a extremely good deal. It has a color that's difficult to counter, with which is alongside him. You know, all the other cards, they can be countered with blasts, but we don't have a blast for the black cards. So I feel like this is easily the best one when there's a lot of blue decks in the metagame, and I think we'll always have that. Then we have Courage Steel Cutter, which is almost as good. Maybe some people feel like it's as good, but it's basically here, I think, because being red is better in a vacuum when you play Tempo, because your bolts can both be removal and go to the dome. You get Pyroblast, which is strong, arguably not better than discard, but it's a strong option to have. So so beyond that, the fact that it's red and slots in the default Tempo deck, which is Izzet, its strength is being good against removal spells. So it's good in the mirrors that are grindy, and it's especially good against control, which we don't see a lot of, but it's out here doing some work in the metagame. It's also good against Chalice 1 because you have a threat that can win the game by itself. Even if you have a Chalice that counters your spells, you can still get your tokens and win. It's good against Blood Moon because it's red. So it has a lot of things going for it. But a con, like I forget what con is short for, but a negative side, a downside of the card is that it needs other cards to work. So Bowmasters, it doesn't need anything. If you draw it late game, it's a great top deck in many cases, whether it's just for chump blocking or putting on pressure on the opponent's draw steps, making cantrips bad. And Curry Seal Cutter, it needs other cards. So if you have nothing going on and you draw this one, it doesn't do anything. And it can take several turns for your draws to add up to getting a token. So that's definitely a downside. And the fact that you ideally need a bauble to go with it to have a good turn 2 play is also a downside. If you just play this turn 2 and say go, no one's going to be very impressed. Maybe you can still win that game because you have good turns afterwards, but it's not very good, and when you don't have the bubble. So I think that is definitely more swingy than the Bow Masters. And then you have Katara, the new girl in class, and like evaluating Katara is pretty interesting and pretty deep. It's a card that has a lot of there's a lot of a bit like Cutter between the highs and the lows. You have a lot of range. The highs being that you play this turn 2, and on the opponent's turn you counter something with a Daze of Force or Force of Negation, or you snuff out something. In your turn, you attack, draw 1, discard 1. Pretty good without being crazy, but then you pass the turn and you can brainstorm in their turn, force or counters, whatever, shoot something. And now you have 3 counters, and when this attacks, you basically win the game, or I think it would feel like that when you draw 3 and discard 1. But that's kind of magical Christmas land, having all these things happen, I think. It's a bit like Cutter, Bubble, nothing happens. On your turn, you play a couple of spells, and next turn, which would be the second attack from Katara, you once again play your spells and you basically swing for lethal. That just doesn't happen very often. At least Cutter is difficult to shoot, to get rid of. Katara, she dies to anything but Bowmaster. But Bowmaster is really good against when she's rolling. Like if she has one counter and the opponent has a Bowmaster, it's not a nice activation, giving them a ping and a +1 on the token for you just looting. And it's a bad top deck in the aforementioned situation where you've been grinding. Even like in some cases, you have experience counters from previous Kataras. In that case, drawing a Katara is very threatening for the opponent. But if you don't, then it's just as bad as a cutter, maybe even worse, because you need to draw instant speed interaction that makes sense at that point in time. So yeah, I think that's a bad top deck in most games. But yeah, it can definitely win the game almost by itself when you have things go your way from turn 2 on. And Hymn to Torak. This is best against control decks, combo decks that need like either control decks. They are like gathering removal spells in their hand to play on your creatures. So it's awesome to preemptively remove that with him. And combo decks, well, they need a critical mass of spells, so him is awesome here. Him is not good against like matchups that go to the board, like Tamiyo facing you, like will often be the case in this metagame. Him is not very good against that. Eldrazi, Devon Taxes, There's plenty of matchups where him is too slow or just not what you want to be doing with your 2 mana on turn 2. And then you can, of course, also have the situation of drawing it late game, and if you're not against combo or control, it might not do much because the game is on the board and not in the hand anymore. Um, but but it can be backbreaking in any matchup, turn 2, that's for sure. But yeah, more swingy as well than Bowmasters. Then you have Questing Druid, and yeah, Questing Druid it's in theory a 3-for-1. If the 2 cards you get with Seek the Beast are playable and you have the Questing Druid afterwards, it's a 3-for-1. But in my experience, that's pretty rarely the case. It has to be pretty late in the game and mostly post-board, where you only have especially in post-board games without counterspells, where you almost have only hits. Otherwise, you have to set it up with a cantrip, so you know the top 2 cards. So these are things that make it pretty rare to have a 3-for-1. But pretty often it's a 2-for-1, but it's a slow 2-for-1 because you have to invest 4 mana to get there at least. So on paper it's amazing, but in my experience, it's like that's why it's a 2-off mostly, because it's a late game card that that is sweet to like play turn 5 or something, but it's not very good in the opening hand. It might feel good, but it's not really gonna do what you want it to most of the time. So it's not very swingy unless you expect a 3-for-1, but if you expect a 2-for-1, kind of solid extra creature that is also a source of card advantage, then it does its job pretty well. And I would love that the deck was built in a way to play 4 of these, but it's not really the case when you have like counter spells and different kind of removal spells and lands, of course. Like always getting 1 land is fine, but if you get 2, you can only use 1 of them. Yeah. And then Murktide Regent, I just want to mention because, well, it's solid. It does the best, like its job. It's the best at its job, which is just beating down. And it's not really in the same category, but as these other cards, but still in a way it is, because it's a 2-drop, and you can't put too many 2-drops in your deck. So yeah, before adding these, you have to think, is Murktide better? And that's a real question. Murktide is amazing, so it's only kind of bad when it gets Pyroblasted or Swords, but because you lose 1 mana. But that's it, and it's not that often an occasion. It doesn't happen that often. Yeah, I think I won't spend more of your time on this. Let's see some more Legacy that I played when I recorded this, which is now in the past when you see this. All right, here we go again, and I don't know what my opponent is playing because that name is difficult to Google. And that's a fine hand. Just gonna lead on the Undercity Sewers. And I'm kind of fine getting wasted, right? Plenty of lands. So I guess they're not gonna waste me now that they saw me bin a land. But you never know. You never know. We have... Whoa! Crazy move. I F6'd. And I don't know if it's too late, but a surgical end of turn on Polluted Delta is crazy. And the fact that I have 2 in hand just makes it even more so. Oh my god. I have to take a screenshot of this. That is unbelievable. And I think my my F6 will cost me 2 lands from my hand here. But wow, I guess this is the first time. No, I was about to say that my split of fetches mattered, but I'm always playing Polluted Delta in this deck. Wow, that's crazy. So their surgical became remove 2 lands from my hand, and now if they have a Wasteland, uh, that's just unbelievable. uh, Main deck surgical is one thing. Playing it with that timing is another, and on that card is a third. I'm amazed. But let's get back to playing Magic. I think I have to do something. And kind of accept that I'm losing this game if they have anything. But I mean, it would have hurt equally forcing that surgical. But I would have done it because I need those lands to play the game. Okay, I guess I'm playing the Tamiyo. So, like, no matter what, they get 2 cards with their surgical there. But yeah, what a joke! Like, let me explain why I think this is crazy. Like, what they're doing. First of all, playing surgical in the main deck, it doesn't make any sense in this metagame. You don't have enough graveyard decks for it to be a good choice. Like I say that with 99% confidence. And the only reason I don't go up to 100 is because that's generally a bad idea. And then, like, taking the Delta, I guess once they have surgical in hand, why not? There's a certain, like, they know I play 4, right? So it's gonna do something in a long game at least. I'll have like less lands. Maybe they play sinkhole as well, and it's like their whole strategy. Maybe they put surgical in the deck to get to take underground seas and volcanic islands. But like it can work. It worked here, but that's extremely rare that the opponent has several copies. Even one copy is not likely. And then why do it on my end step? At least do it on their turn. They can draw a card. Maybe they draw Daze to protect it. Playing around Force of Negation. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I think. Wouldn't they be happy if I Force of? I guess giving me a choice is never really good. But at least drawing a card so they can find a Daze, find more. More kind of realistic. In this, I feel like I should try and find more lands. I don't have a lot, but I'm not gonna win the game without. Instead of just playing the Tamiyo. Okay, the Daze. Sure. Now when they see volcanic, maybe they think I play True Grixis without basics. Hmm. If that's a Murktide, hint trick. Yep. That's a real 2-for-1. And I think I'm just gonna concede. Okay, I'm not gonna concede. Surgical and him. This feels like 2008. And do they have any threat? I'll concede pretty quickly. Okay, I'm conceding. So, him to track. Wonder if they'll be keeping in surgical. It'll actually be good against my reanimates, but I have a feeling they'll board it out. So I'm fine dazing against their hymns. Or just accepting them. Or like taking them with discard. I think that's fine. I think having a lot of discard is not bad. I can cut a Brazen because I have Pyroblast, and otherwise it's not very good. Molten Collapse is probably should be here actually instead of Brazen. Whoop. Too late. Okay. So, lead on Undercity and see what happens. Or play Tamiyo. I'm gonna play Tamiyo. I wanna like up my chances of Brainstorm, Tamiyo Brainstorm here. Because yeah, otherwise it's pretty weak to discard. Okay, they can take the Brainstorm then, but that's fine. I get my Tamiyo value, my clue token. In a sense, if I play Sewers and leave Tamiyo in hand, I do protect myself from Thoughtseize on Tamiyo because I have the Reanimate. So in that case, maybe they take the Brainstorm anyway. And then I can Thoughtseize Tamiyo on my turn. Maybe that's better. It sounds a bit better when I go through it. Okay. I mean, if they don't have surgical, that's nice. Or their own reanimate, of course, but I'm willing to take those chances. So we're quite soft to Wasteland on the Sewers. Kind of need a 2 mana or black mana to play. If they hymn, that's fine. In the sense that we have this, like, the clue advantage going on. So it's kind of a wash of they spend their time doing not much, and I get another clue token, etc. Do they have a snuff out here? The paying costs. Surgical. They do it now. They don't want to wait. All right. They don't want to wait. Guess there's a risk that I draw a Force of Will or Daze. It looks like they don't have another land. So even though, like, it's just when they play like this, they lose the equity of me spending a Reanimate. So now they're basically, more than basically, they are just down a card. They spend a card for getting Burgos out of my deck. But I still have the same number of cards in hand. Yeah, you have to be careful how you use surgical. I think I want to just Thoughtseize and draw a card this turn, since I drew the land. So they could have, no, they probably found a push with the Ponder. I assume they shuffled. No, they didn't shuffle. So that should mean they don't have a land on top. Taking the push. They have infinite gas, so definitely have to kind of use, like, get ahead as soon as possible, but next turn I can sorry for not finishing my sentences. I can Thoughtseize Reanimate on a Bergoyf if they don't do anything now. Yeah. Could have done this now, but then, yeah, maybe I should have would have had a Bergoyf, but they would have had a push. Now I have Tamiyo still uncontested. Okay, sweet. Let's do this first. And let's take that Bergoyf. And I'm gonna take their Brazen as well. So they can bounce the Bergoyf. I can bounce their Murktide if they find the land. And if they don't find a land, I think they're dead. If push doesn't do it. Yeah, Thoughtseize was really sweet this game. Now I can flip Tamiyo if I want to. Sweet. In 2 ways. Could have responded and put Brazen on top. I think that would have been better just to ensure the card. I gotta admit I'm playing a bit loosely now because I feel like it's a foregone conclusion that I'm gonna, yeah. But yeah, I should have brainstormed in response to the Bergoyf trigger to get my Brazen on top. Okay, what did we learn? They still have surgical, but they're willing to use surgical at bad times. So I'm okay. I'm okay playing my Reanimates, I think. They have Dorothy Voidwalkers. They have all the tempo stuff. So Collapse is a bit better than Brazen, I think. Yeah, let's try it like this. All right, I'm gonna keep this hand. Very fine. They mulligan. We have a lot of stuff covered. We have a threat discard. Awesome. So him to Turek. I mean, that's a good card in the mirror. If you're not behind on board, maybe they can recoup what they lost from being on the play and mulliganing. Yeah, and when they take Inquisition, I feel like that could be a way of protecting their him for sure. Okay, nice. Drawing a Thoughtseize is sweet. Very sweet indeed. I assume they don't play a lot of hymns, but you never know. If they have a Daze, it slows them down. Yeah, him to Turek. So now, Brainstorm, push, and a land. Not so scary. My Wastelands are going to be really good if I see them. For the time being, they don't have an answer for Murktide, which is 2 turns away, probably. Their Wastelands don't look awesome. I think they really want to find more hymns before I get on board. Basically next turn. That means finding a hymn for now, like to set up for next turn. That would be ideal for them. If they find a Shadow Walker, Void Walker, Dorothy Void Walker, it's going to be a bit late. They find a Wasteland. Okay. Slows me down. If they have a hymn as well, are they gonna surgical me now? I see them kind of pausing. Maybe they're gonna do it on my draw stuff. I kind of hope they do. Let's Sewers. Ponder is fine. Yeah. I want to have 5 cards next. Like when I play my Volcanic, I want to be able to play Murktide. I'm not gonna play around a Daze, I think. And here's the Delta. Okay. So now they can take my Murktide. They have push for my Bowmaster. So now it's based. Okay. Huh. Take the Bowmaster. Does that mean they have a Daze as the second card? Or maybe just another removal spell? Like, I am playing my Murktide. And saving a Bowmaster for a Reanimate. Let's see if they have that Daze. They have Brainstorm, another one. So it's definitely anyone's game if this Murktide gets answered on the stack. Or anywhere, I guess. But Okay. The fact that I have snuff out for their Murktide is goes a long way. I don't have Baragorf covered with this push. That's a thing. And it looks like that's what's coming. Yep. That was a very nice top deck. I don't have to play around anything. Oh, well, I should play like this to play around them drawing a force. There's no reason to wait. And maybe they have a push in hand. I feel like it's pretty likely. It's not a card that you shuffle away most of the time, but depends. Maybe they maybe they found a second threat and they preferred that. Since push didn't have a target, they certainly had the options open with Brainstorm. Okay, so the fact that they're sending the turn seems pretty good for me. No, they're waiting. Something's up. I'm fine playing a land. So when they're two, now they're in kind of Bowmaster, Force of Will, Fetch territory, where it's stressful even if they remove the Murktide now. But basically, Baragorf, like removal and Baragorf, that's the way out of this game. Any kind of slow threat, I don't think is going to be good enough most of the time. They like their cards. And looks like they're playing a Murktide. So they need Force of Will blue card as well. See if we can draw a discard spell. Nope. Well, they could have double Daze, in which case it's stupid to hardcast Snuff Out. If they have Force of Will, well, it doesn't make it. It doesn't really make a difference because it's, well, they can't attack. They can't attack. I think I should just play around double Daze and keep this land for a Brainstorm, since they can't attack even if they have a force. Okay, they didn't have anything. Okay, sweet. Well, let's move on to the next one. All right. My opponent for this fourth round usually play Modern, but it looks like they like Death and Taxes. It looks like they also played Oops at some point, but I'm not going to keep an unplayable hand just because of that. Okay, that's a fine-ish hand. I keep, and guess I'll get rid of Underground Sea so I can build a graveyard with the fetches for Murktide. Looking to get basics. If they're playing Death and Taxes, basics will be good. In a sense, getting wasted once might be okay. But I do play 3-drops in Baragorf, so I'm just gonna lead on a swamp. Okay, it is indeed. Oops. They have a land, 2 rituals, spirit guide, and 1 payoff. So it doesn't take them much to be able to get a lot of mana. They have 5 mana. I mean, the easy answer is just taking the Undercity Informer. I guess it's more likely that they draw lands like a black mana source than one of the remaining 7 of those cards. Trying hard to move to the second phase. Okay, this time it worked. Let's open up their hand. So maybe they don't want to get wasted, so they don't play the lands. Seems pretty good. And it's a bit slow. My Murktide is a bit slow when I go, like it doesn't really change. I couldn't play it next turn regardless. But this way it's guaranteed. I'd like maybe to get more discards. It wouldn't be bad. Actually, that way I could play. Yeah. I think a ponder is fine as well to maybe get discard for their land. But yeah, I Thoughtseize here. Huh. Thing is, this doesn't beat their Pact of Negation the slightest. This doesn't beat their pacts. Guess if I have Daze and Force, it's a bit slow. But yeah, I don't think this is good enough. What am I looking for? Basically discard to take their land. I think it's better. Okay. Okay, that sounds like trouble. So it's going to be fun to see if my sideboard plans work against, like having no real and fast graveyard hate against Oops if I can go the distance. They have a Reanimate. Wow. That's good. I know they sometimes play like 1. That is strong. Yeah, I'm just gonna let them show me the deck. So let's see. Probably just the usual, right? Dum 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 dum. If I can get any kind of intel on what they might be sideboarding, that would be sweet. Doesn't look like it. Just gonna concede. Yeah. So let's see what we can do in sideboarding. Like consigns is part of the plan. Force of Negation is also Pyroblast on the Memory's Journey or Pact of Negation. And of course these Reanimates. Snuff Out is bad. If they have a sideboard Duke, I feel I can beat it with playing Brazen, trading with Baragoyf, reanimating. So I'm not gonna play these pushes. off the bat. Wasteland is pretty bad against them. Tamiyo is pretty bad. It's not amazing. I think I want to keep my threats. Yeah, don't hate it. Cutting a Tamiyo. It's really slow. And maybe cut one Barragoyf as well. So if they start playing Barragoyfs, I have to force them or bounce. Discard. Think I'm okay with that in the dark. And then I might change it up afterwards. With my 5 discard spells. Oof. That won't do. Okay, that's a fine hand. What do I not want here? I want everything. Maybe I just say that I'm gonna draw a land. I'm gonna bin the volcanic. I'm gonna draw lands. They have Reanimate, and they have a Belcher plane with Pact of Negation. So 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna just take the Pact of Negation. I feel like I want them to go for the Belcher. Don't think they're gonna do it. Go for it. But I can beat yeah, that's this one. Pedal. Something's happening. Like Reanimate is pretty sweet. It's just if they have a Balustrade Spy LED, okay. Yeah. So they're just going for it, I guess. Dark Ritual. Yeah. That's awesome. And how do I want to... What if I Daze? Then they crack here. They still have the Spirit Guide. Yeah, they still have the Spirit Guide. So it doesn't really make any sense. I'm just gonna force pitching Daze, I guess. Because Consign handles both of their planes. I'm happy they're not on the Bargoyf plane. For sure. Okay, I think I'm gonna wait. I need that Brainstorm to be good. And I really don't wanna not have a land. I think I'll wait one more turn unless I hit. Okay, now I'm gonna do it. Okay. Thoughtseize is pretty good. But, this Pyroblast is probably not what's up. Nor the Brazen. So I'm just gonna discard now. Oh yeah, and because they have the LED, they can, like, Reanimate is pretty strong in the sense that they don't need a lot of mana to Okay, they got another Belcher. No, that's yeah. Never mind. Like drawing reanimates later. Yeah, no, never mind. I missed the the timing between LED and stuff because you discard everything. Anyways, I could take the spirit guides because there's not any draw that gets them to yeah, I'm just gonna let them they still have to draw both gas and mana with this hand. So I think that's kind of the time that I need. So now they have 3 mana available. It's not good enough. Well, it could be good enough for the Undercity Informer, but I have to make a move. Daze is decent. I have to risk that they draw exactly Undercity Informer, and then afterwards I'll be pretty good to go with Consign up. So now I guess they need to draw discard into gas. Don't hate a ponder. Yeah, it's not really interesting. Okay. I should have a Surveil in the deck. Yeah, I think I'm pretty favored at this point. So it's awesome knowing that they are on Belcher. It really makes it much easier to sideboard because these consign do double duty. Okay, well, not playing that one. Now I can potentially board out my Bargoyfs. If I see something better, like anything blue basically is better, I think. So they have 4 cards. 2 of them are known. This is my graveyard. I want to see that. This just gives +1 mana. Guess this is fine. Okay, nice. Yeah, they have a bunch of Belchers in the board. So kind of they have a plan to go around graveyard hate, and what do you know? I don't have any graveyard hate, so they would be better off not sideboarding, but they don't know. They might make that change now. Let's see. So I guess I'm boarding in at least the Tamiyo because it's blue card. I guess Molten Collapse is better because they play out their LEDs. Wasteland is definitely on the table, but yeah, I'm not gonna go that route. I think it's nice being paired against this deck when I have the audacity to play with Reanimate as my anti-graveyard card. Let's see if it's if I will pay the price. certainly don't have as many good opening hands as when you have these two fairy macaques that were standard, industry standard for a long time. So they start with 7. I think I'm gonna keep. I don't think they always have it turn 1. I think they might have discards turns and only mulling to force. Well, looks like I'm dead, but let's see if they play a Belcher. No. Okay. Well, that's it. And we can move on. All right, last round, and my opponent probably is on the mirror. That's what I read in their last results. And this hand is bad against turn 1 Tamiyo, but otherwise very playable, right? Do I want to get wasted or not? I don't really want to swamp. I prefer getting wasted, I think, with these brainstorms. They have I assume a brainstorm in response. Hiding something sweet. Let's see. If it's just kind of the mirror or something a bit more broken. If they want to show us. Alright, took some time, but they're back. Unless they play a 2-drop, I guess they're gonna ponder Wasteland. Snuff Out is in general good against us, but I want to take Ponder so they don't have a good next turn. If Wasteland is their plan, Force of Will is fine, like more than fine. I'm happy that they have Force of Wills, and I don't mind getting wasted with these lands, but I will be more careful. Okay, so maybe Katara is a guess. Him to Torek. Okay. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, not bad. Not bad. So, do I want to take the Snuff Out? Do I want to Wasteland? Guess Wasteland protects me from Murktide. But I don't think I want to Thoughtseize yet. I think it can wait. Because I don't really know what I want to Thoughtseize. Okay. Not bad. Not bad indeed. Not bad indeed. Guess I am pondering for with the basic island. They're gonna Force of Will to protect the Tamiyo, so okay, that was not correct. They're gonna Force of Will like that. Okay, so now my Brainstorm can find an answer, hopefully. in both push and snuff out. Finding a Murktide would also be pretty good. If they draw a land, then that's definitely strong because they can start cracking their clue tokens. If they don't, then we have definitely a more fair game or a more aligned game. Equal game is what I'm looking for, I think. That was a noise. I think you heard. Sorry about that if that was loud. My opponent, I don't know. There's not a big difference in clock, but I feel like they're stopping to think at suppressing moments. Okay, they got the land, so it's tough. I really need to get rid of this Tamiyo right this moment. Or get my own online, but they have snuff out, so that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Could Thoughtseize and just play the Tamiyo. Guess I'm gonna Thoughtseize the snuff out and take take the moment to get Tamiyo in play, but being behind is definitely tough. Maybe because I have the Brainstorm, I can like retake the advantage. The Ponder, unless they have a third land, it's not very strong. If they have the third land, it's awesome because it means they can flip, and that gives them plenty of stuff next turn. So they're looking for that land or removal, I guess. Yep. It's a grind. Might be a game where the clock will matter. Like a match, not a game. Okay, well, let's start. Let's start the grind. Bowmasters is pretty sweet. We don't know what they have. But there's a decent shot that Bowmasters can surprise them, and we have the clue token as disguise. So we're almost at parity. It feels like parity. Okay. So, well, I'm just gonna play the Bowmasters. Such is life. Yeah. Guess I maybe should have played it. Yeah, I thought I could get them. I definitely couldn't. And they have a Daze as well. Okay. I got punished for being a bit greedy there. And do they have more gas? Indeed. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. There's too many things to. I don't have any removal to find. I can basically. I think I need to get back Brainstorm and I'm like looking for removal and gas. Okay, that's kind of it. That is kind of it, because then I can snuff out, hide the Bargoyf, play the land. And the timing on this doesn't really matter, I think. So it does mean not cracking the clue if I want to draw that Bargoyf, which definitely hurts. So now, problem is I'm facing Tamiyo, and I put Brazen second from the top. I should have considered that. Should have considered that. I think I have to. I need Brazen and or Bowmasters here. So I have to, I guess, draw a card. Yeah, I should have put Brazen on top. I didn't. They have Bowmasters. Oof. Yeah. I mean, I can still draw Bowmasters and like be lucky or Brainstorm. If they go for it, they die. Brainstorm could even go looking. So I guess I'm just gonna say go, and like if I can't play a Bargoyf, then they just know that they can ultimate. Okay, they go up. They go up. Yeah. Not risking it. And being at 5 is also a thing. Too many things. Too many things. Yeah, I am dead. All right. Well, let's win a 3-set match. I am up for that. Reanimates, Pyroblasts. Once again, it's nice getting this pairing because it's one of those decks that that you prepare for, that I prepare for. Now, Daze isn't bad on the play, but it's gonna be a grindy game, so I don't think it's necessary. Brazen is pretty bad. It's good pre-board, but now I have plenty of answers for Murktide. They don't even play a bunch, so I think that's the weakest link here. And now we have a great looking mid-range deck, basically. Yeah. All right, let's ponder for more lands. I could. I'm gonna go for an island, I think, since I have the double ponder. Makes it very likely that I hit island swamp within these couple of turns, first couple of turns. And yeah, it's just no need to take the risk of getting wasted and not being able to play the second ponder. Nope. Okay, sweet. So I have the Reanimate for the Bowmaster Wars. Okay, Tamiyo. I can waste. I think I'm gonna. Okay. So then I'm gonna push and ponder. And I think I'm gonna get wasted. But I am happy drawing a Thoughtseize. After that, this is a nice mix. Maybe my Thoughtseize can punch a hole for Murktide. No, okay. Well, let's see how they play it. Take the Reanimate, that's a nice one. So now I can Thoughtseize maybe their answer to Murktide. Hopefully. Lead on, like I won't play a land before I Thoughtseize. Who knows, maybe Wasteland is the play. Let's see what they do with Ponder. Taking their sweet time. This Flooded might be too early, but it might be looking for a volcanic. I don't have any Pyroblast incoming, but and the risk is getting wasted out of black, so it's not like something I do in the dark. But maybe if I see a hand with a lot of blue threats, could come up. All right, let's see what's up. A bit of everything. So I can't play Murktide right now, but I can waste. And Daze I can play around. So basically, I'm gonna take Snuff out and waste them. And what did they do with the ponder? I stopped the video because it took some time. They like the cards, but they don't have a second land. Okay. So I'll play around Daze. And sure, they can. I'm actually gonna play my ponder because if they Daze, they almost lose the game on the spot. So I don't think they're gonna do that. I guess they won't be wasting me either, right? So maybe I just take the volcanic now, so I can counter their brazen if it comes up. I like these Wastelands for sure. Let's draw them like this. Okay, they got the land. So I guess they will bounce. I can replay it. It's less big, but it's still big. I can Thoughtseize first. I guess that's pretty good. My Wasteland's gonna be good regardless. They have double Daze. Okay. Double Daze. So I have to take one. And yeah. It's a bit boring. But such is life. Dazing doesn't do much for them. Little do they know that I have another Wasteland coming up. And that is extremely strong. Snuff Out is a good card. It's in another Brainstorm. Okay. Okay, they knew they didn't have the lands to win here. All right, what did we learn? They played Daze on the draw, several. I didn't see force. So it's probably going to be the same setup where they have Dazes. And yeah, let's just submit. No changes. Yeah, discard spells are good at making a plan, knowing what is kind of the weak point. They had a bunch of gas, but not a lot of lands. We're fortunate enough to see double Wasteland on the cantrip, but if we didn't know their hand, we wouldn't be like as confident in keeping that. We have to mulligan once again, and we keep. Just don't play the Wasteland because that is basically like we're not likely to mana screw them. Like they can go for basics if they want, and then Wasteland is just a bad land. Yep. And well, let's try and shoot it. Except the fact that we can get dazed. Wow. Force of Negation. Like, I thought about the existence of the card, but I mean, you never play around Force of Negation in the mirror, right? And it doesn't really make sense, I think, to play that card. And if I pass the turn, they can just Brainstorm in response to the Pyroblast, so that would never make sense. So maybe they're genius for playing Force of Negation for exactly that reason. But yeah, I'm not convinced. So we can ponder and look for a push to play with the Underground Sea. They shuffle. Not bad, not bad. So we can still ponder into a snuff out. That would be pretty sweet. Maybe I should play more than one snuff out, somewhere in the 75. It's really a card I want to draw a lot of the time against a lot of different matchups. Just for the speed. The primary reason for not doing it is Izzet Delta still being the most played deck. Okay. It's not bad because we can get a clue token and collapse. Like, it's the best if they transform Tamiyo, because then they, yeah. I guess I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna say this is good enough, basically. But it's the best if they brainstorm or double ponder on their turn. Then we can get the clue token and the flip Tamiyo. They shuffle. Oh, and if they don't have a land, that's awesome as well, because then we still get what we've point our guns at. If only. The problem is this volcanic should have been in the deck so that my flooded could get it, because I don't have a descent on, and that is a shame. That is a big shame. That's a big shame. How do we play? They might Daze. That's a different thing. That's a different likely thing. So maybe, actually, that would almost be ideal if they Daze, because then we can try again next turn with Descend on. So let's see what happens. Okay, nothing special happened. Well, next turn I can Thoughtseize Murktide. No. Let's. Feel I'm gonna Thoughtseize, see if I find a Barragoyf here that I can reanimate. Otherwise, there's a good chance I'm wasting them. Okay, they have a Thoughtseize, so I think I should just Wasteland. Maybe take the Bowmasters, because I'd like that next turn. And then all their discard is going to be bad pretty quickly. So if they draw land, I lose my Reanimate, and we have a game. A very equal game, but it's not the case, it looks like. Let's open up their hand here. Okay, well, I'm just gonna wait on the Thoughtseize and get this Bowmaster down. I don't think if they draw land that they're gonna play Thoughtseize. I think they're gonna play Tamiyo. Guess I should take the Tamiyo then. The thing is, I wanted to take a Bowmaster. Yeah. Oh, they are afraid of Wasteland. Okay. That's also understandable. For sure. Nice. So now I just wanna Thoughtseize, I guess. If they have a Bowmaster hidden there somewhere, I wanna find it. They have a push. Okay. Okay. And I'll take the Tamiyo. And they have only discard. We have lands. So, but yeah, now they can draw cards as well. So it's very even. Very even, Steven. Nice. Very nice. I want that Bowmaster and get in for some more damage. And I'm not drawing a card because they have Thoughtseize, I think. With my token, clue token. Ten all, or 10 all, like what you say in sports. It's a close game, really nice game. Time is equal as well. If they have a Bowmaster now, they're gonna punish me when I draw a card end of turn. But at least I'm playing around their known Thoughtseize. They draw a card. Okay. Great. Great. That means we can draw a card with no risk. Okay, might be good. Yeah, let's attack, draw cards, keeping the volcanic open. Oh, undo. And I'll just draw a card now to get it over with. Okay. They can't hit me because they're basically dead on board. And Thoughtseize as well. Now if they have a Bowmaster, I have my backup Bowmaster. That's fine. I could counter it on the stack. Are we gonna get the sweet 3-2 after losing to Black Saga Storm and Doomsday? Yes, indeed. All right, see you for the closing thoughts. All right, closing thoughts. And I want to mention this is the week of Eternal Weekend Asia. So we have a great third and last event of the Eternal Weekend season coming up. And that is going to be awesome to follow. And this is like, it's pretty obvious that I didn't like test this list for weeks and weeks, so I won't say with all my confidence that this is the best list, but I would be happy playing it if I had a big event coming up. And in paper, even more so with these reanimates. You saw me lose to Oops, but I could have mulliganed that hand for looking for a Force of Will. If I had Fairy Macabres, then would have had more cards to find. But I don't know. I think I, I'm okay for the time being, as long as Oops is a somewhat minor part of the metagame. I'm okay taking those losses if I'm really happy having these reanimates in other matchups. And I think they were pretty sweet in several of these rounds, as they were last week. So I am definitely happy to keep playing them. Maybe I'll find the space for another snuff out because it feels like it's worth it. And yeah, I am after talking about the different 2-drops in the middle of the video. I'm still not very interested in trying Katara, but I might do it just for the sake of getting the experience with my own hands. And yeah, I am looking forward to playing a paper tournament in a month from now, more or less a month, which is the first one I'm going to play in a year. So that is awesome, and I'll be thinking about that in my deck selection as well in these coming weeks. So, without further ado, have a nice continued day or evening, and see you next week.